Welcome back to World History Channel. In this video, we will look back to review all series of important events that happened in the Afghanistan conflict from the year 2001 to 2021. Please don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe if you want more similar reviews. Let's get started. The war in Afghanistan was a conflict that took place from 2001 to 2021 in Afghanistan. It started with an invasion that led to the United States and its allies toppling the Taliban-ruled Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan in order to deny Al-Qaeda a safe base of operations in the country. It was the longest war in the United States history, surpassing the Vietnam War by roughly 5 months. 2001 United States invasion of Afghanistan.
The battle is now joined on many fronts. We will not waver. We will not tire. We will not falter. And we will not fail.
In late 2001, the United States, supported by its close allies, invaded Afghanistan and toppled the Taliban government. The invasion's public aims were to dismantle Al-Qaeda, which had executed the September 11th attacks weeks prior, and to deny it a safe base of operations in Afghanistan by removing the Taliban government from power. The United Kingdom was a key ally of the United States, offering support for military action from the start of preparations for the invasion. It followed the Afghan Civil War's 1996 to 2001 phase between the Taliban and the Northern Alliance groups, which resulted in the Taliban controlling 90% of the country by 2001. The invasion became the first phase of a 20-year-long war in the country, and marked the beginning of the US War on Terror. In 2002. Post-Anaconda operations. Following the battle at Shahi Kot, Al-Qaeda fighters established sanctuaries on the Pakistani border, where they launched cross-border raids beginning in the summer of 2002. Guerrilla units, numbering between 5 and 25 men, regularly crossed the border to fire rockets at coalition bases, ambush convoys and patrols, and assault non-governmental organizations. The area around the Skin base in Paktika province saw some of the heaviest activity. 2003 to 2005. Taliban resurgence, war with US-led coalition and Afghan forces.
Get out of the way.
Pamphlets by Taliban and other groups turned up strewn in towns and the countryside in early 2003, urging Islamic faithful to rise up against US forces and other foreign soldiers in a holy war. The first isolated attacks by relatively large Taliban bands on Afghan targets also appeared around that time. As the summer of 2003 continued, Taliban attacks gradually increased in frequency. Dozens of Afghan government soldiers, NGO humanitarian workers, and several US soldiers died in the raids, ambushes and rocket attacks. Besides guerrilla attacks, Taliban fighters began building up forces in Zabul province. The Taliban decided to make a stand there. In 2006, war between NATO forces and Taliban. January 2006, a multinational ISAF contingent started to replace US troops in southern Afghanistan. The British 16 Air Assault Brigade, later reinforced by Royal Marines, formed the core of the force, along with troops and helicopters from Australia, Canada, and the Netherlands. The initial force consisted of roughly 3,300 British, 2,300 Canadian, 1,963 Dutch, 300 Australian, 290 Danish, and 150 Estonian troops. Air support was provided by US, British, Dutch, Norwegian, and French combat aircraft and helicopters. In 2007, US build-up ISAF war against Taliban. In January and February 2007, British Royal Marines mounted Operation Volcano to clear insurgents from firing points in the village of Baraku, north of Kajaki. Other major operations during this period included Operation Achilles, March to May, and Operation Lastly Culling. The UK Ministry of Defence announced its intention to bring British troop levels in the country up to 7,700. Committed until 2009, further operations, such as Operation Silver and Operation Silicon, took place to keep up the pressure on the Taliban in the hope of blunting their expected spring offensive. 2008, reassessment and a renewed commitment. In the first 5 months of 2008, the number of US troops in Afghanistan increased by over 80% with a surge of 21,643 more troops, bringing the total from 26,607 in January to 48,250 in June. In September 2008, President Bush announced the withdrawal of over 8,000 from Iraq and a further increase of up to 4,500 in Afghanistan. On the 13th of June, Taliban fighters demonstrated their ongoing strength, liberating all prisoners in Kandahar jail. The operation freed 1,200 prisoners, 400 of whom were Taliban, causing a major embarrassment for NATO. In November and December 2008, multiple incidents of major theft, robbery, and arson attacks afflicted NATO supply convoys in Pakistan. In 2009 US reinforcements, Taliban progress.
360 security, face out!
In mid-February 2009, it was announced that 17,000 additional troops would be deployed in 2 brigades and support troops. The 2nd Marine Expeditionary Brigade of about 3,500 and the 5th Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, a striker brigade with about 4,000. ISAF Commander General David McKiernan had called for as many as 30,000 additional troops, effectively doubling the number of troops. In 2009, the drone strikes in Pakistan increased substantially under the administration of United States President Barack Obama that previously began during the administration of United States President George W. Bush. Against Taliban and al-Qaeda militants. Some in the media have referred to the attacks as a drone war. 2010, American-British offensive. Beginning in May 2010, NATO Special Forces began to concentrate on operations to capture or kill specific Taliban leaders. As of March 2011, the US military claimed that the effort had resulted in the capture or killing of more than 900 low to mid-level Taliban commanders. 2011, US and NATO drawdown.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
On the 2nd of May, US officials announced that al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden had been killed in Operation Neptune Spear, conducted by the US Navy SEALs in Pakistan. 2012 Strategic
Tonight,
Agreement.
I can report to the American people and to the world.
On the 2nd of May 2012, Presidents Karzai and Obama signed a strategic partnership agreement between the two countries, after the US president had arrived unannounced in Kabul on the first anniversary of Osama bin Laden's death. The US-Afghanistan Strategic Partnership Agreement, officially entitled the Enduring Strategic Partnership Agreement between the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan and the United States of America, provides the long-term framework for the two countries' relationship after the drawdown of US forces. Withdrawal. On the 11th of January 2012, Karzai and Obama agreed to transfer combat operations from NATO to Afghan forces by spring 2013. What's going to happen this spring is that Afghans will be in the lead throughout the country, Obama said. ISAF forces will still be fighting alongside Afghan troops. We'll be in a training, assisting, advising role, Obama added. He also stated the reason for the withdrawals that we achieved our central goal, or have come very close, which is to decapacitate Al-Qaeda, to dismantle them, to make sure that they can't attack us again. 2014. Withdrawal continues and the insurgency increases. After 2013, the Taliban escalated suicide bombings. An example of this is a bombing of a Lebanese restaurant in the Wazir Akbar Khan area of Kabul on the 18th of February 2014. Among the dead in this attack were UN staff and the owner of a restaurant, who died protecting his business. 21 people altogether were killed. Meanwhile, the withdrawal continued, with 200 more US troops going home. The UK halved their force and were slowing withdrawal with all but 2 bases being closed down. 2015. Taliban resurgence. The Taliban began a resurgence due to several factors. At the end of 2014, the US and NATO combat mission ended and the withdrawal of most foreign forces from Afghanistan reduced the risk the Taliban faced of being bombed and raided. 2016. Peace deal. On the 22nd of September 2016, the Afghan government signed a draft peace deal with Hezb-i-Islami. According to the draft agreement, Hezb-i-Islami agreed to cease hostilities, cut ties to extremist groups and respect the Afghan constitution. In exchange for government recognition of the group and support for the removal of United Nations and American sanctions against Hekmatyar, who was also promised an honorary post in the government. 2017. Donald Trump's Afghan policy.
I am here tonight to lay out our path forward in Afghanistan and South Asia. Since the founding of our republic, our country has produced a special class of heroes.
On the 21st of August 2017, US President Donald Trump stated that he would expand the American presence in Afghanistan, without giving details on how or when. Trump did not formulate any timelines, troop numbers or specific purposes to be met. Only that a US withdrawal was not an option now, as it would play into the hands of terrorists, and that publicizing deadlines and exact plans would only help those groups prepare. 2018. Kabul ambulance bombing. On the 27th of January 2018, attackers blew up an explosives-packed ambulance near an interior ministry building. The explosion was so powerful that the shock was felt around the capital, collapsing buildings and destroying facades in the immediate area. A bomb was hidden in an ambulance and detonated at a second police checkpoint, according to officials. Its blast also destroyed vehicles, shops, and buildings nearby. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack. The Afghan government described it as a crime against humanity, and accused Pakistan of providing support to the attackers. Pakistan denies supporting militants carrying out attacks in Afghanistan. 2019. Maidan Shah attack. On the 21st of January 2019, in central Afghanistan, the Taliban attacked a military compound in Maidan Shah, killing officers of the Afghan National Directorate of Security. The attackers rammed a vehicle filled with explosives through a military checkpoint and detonated it in the camp of the National Directorate of Security, NDS, Forces Training Center in Maidan Shah, the capital of Maidan Wardak Province. 2020. Attacks on Kabul, Doha Agreement. The Doha Agreement, also known as the Agreement for Bringing Peace to Afghanistan, is a peace agreement that was signed by the United States and the Taliban on February 29, 2020, to bring the Afghanistan War to an end. On the 25th of March 2020, ISIS Haqqani network gunmen and suicide bombers attacked the Gurdwara Har-Rai Sahib, a Sikh shrine, in Kabul, Afghanistan. About 200 worshippers were reported to have been in the building, in which 25 Sikh worshippers were killed and leaving at least 8 wounded after an hour-long siege which ended in all assailants being killed by responding security forces. At least one child was said to have been among people who were killed, according to the Ministry of Interior's statement. 2021. Withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan and Taliban offensive. The United States Armed Forces completed their withdrawal from Afghanistan on the 30th of August 2021, marking the end of the 2001 to 2021 war in Afghanistan. The withdrawal took place in the context of the Doha Agreement, formerly titled the Agreement for Bringing Peace to Afghanistan, at the start of the Biden administration. There were 2,500 US soldiers in Afghanistan, and in April Biden said the US would not begin withdrawing these soldiers before the 1st of May, but would complete the withdrawal by the 11th of September. The Taliban began a final offensive on the 1st of May. On the 8th of July, Biden specified a new completion date of the 31st of August. Biden considered but rejected extending the withdrawal deadline beyond the 31st of August. There were about 650 US troops in Afghanistan in early August 2021, tasked with protecting the airport and embassy. The US also launched Operation Allies Refuge to airlift to the United States translators and selected Afghan citizens considered at risk of reprisals. However, after the fall of Kabul to the Taliban on the 15th of August 2021, the operation to evacuate all Americans, eligible Afghans, and other NATO nationals was accelerated. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. See you in our next videos.